Greetings and welcome to episode 251 of the Words About Games podcast, a weekly news and culture discussion podcast for words about games. I can't. Not while you give me that look, Moody. I'm your host, Amy Kate Alexander, joined this week by, I don't even know what his fucking name is going to be this week. Daphne Dafford Jeff Moody.
It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that means.
And the disembodied voice of Mr. Red Bearded Fox.
Hello. Thank you for having me back.
I said you were always welcome, and then you disappeared for a month.
I did.
Ivan's been fixing his internet.
And I took it personally.
Oh,
I didn't really
I'm so
take it
sorry.
personally.
Okay. I was about to get real sad because, I really, I don't give a shit about Moody, getting affected by it, but you, I don't want to ever hurt your feelings.
I'm just lovable.
I was
It's all right. I just took it out on Moody and Among Us the entire time.
Thank you. That's exactly how I would have wanted it.
Oh, for foxes! I can't wait for you to see the new highlights that Amy's has created. There's a part where I literally, and I truly mean, obliterate Ryan. It's sexy. I won't lie. Amy and Ryan do something really funny after it, though.
I was gonna say you're missing a part of that story, but yes, that
I
is.
just love how Ryan was saying it. I've been getting destroyed by him. It's brilliant.
And then the Doom music starts.
Yes.
That's
So
the
imagine
best
if
music
Fox-
to do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doom and Among Us together.
Actually,
said-
I'm sure there's compilations already out there. And
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love to see it.
definitely.
It's the best. It's facts,
Mhm.
okay?
I always said I wanted to set an Among Us killing spree to Doom music. I always thought it would be mine, but you gotta do. You know what? Sometimes you gotta make sacrifices in the name of just making the best video you possibly can.
Oh, you get
Yeah.
you get the Terminator theme behind you, so
That's
I'm
true.
kind of jealous for that.
That is true. How's everybody doing?
Boxes.
It's been an up and down, kind of so to speak, for obviously for me being kind of MIA even from video games and whatnot. But the upsides have been new furniture. We got a
Awesome.
new couch, and what's the one where it's kind of like a couch, but you lay on it, and it's kind of more like you kind of
A bed?
No, no. I mean, yeah, we got a new bed. We got that too. Actually, we got a new purple, and to be honest with you, I love it.
A
I'm not gonna lie.
futon.
A recliner.
No, it's kind of it's one
L?
of those ones that you would maybe see in therapist sessions and movies and TV shows. The ones where they
What
can
way? A
kinda,
little bit on an angle.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright. I don't know what
Yeah,
they're called.
Yeah, I don't fucking know either. But
Just a couch.
yeah, sure. I guess
Thing
another
to
couch.
lie on.
Yeah.
Crying
And-
corner.
Uh, actually, that's fair. And to be fair, personally, actually, I got some new hardware and another SSD to actually put my fuck ton of games on it. So that's always been a good thing. And Outriders is out, and I can't fucking play it, which is okay. It's fine. I'm not gonna bleed out for not being able to play Outriders, but it's every time I try to play, the servers are down.
Cute in a screaming.
You're not need to team up on that. Outriders.
Yeah.
When they turn the
Same.
crossplay on, because I'm guessing you don't have it on Xbox.
I do not. PC.
Game Pass, baby.
Nice. Actually, that only came to Game Pass on console, right?
No? No, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I
Gotcha.
apologize. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I'd have been a little upset if it came to the PC one and I paid for it, and I'd have been fine with just only playing it through the Game Pass.
Not like baseball, but we'll talk about that later.
To answer the question, Ryan, I'm very well. I'm not bad at all. I've started walking again. Try to get this big old belly off me. and everything like that, and start just moving around to get me exercising better and everything like that. I'm sure it's something that my father would want me to do and everything. Doing well on there. Playing games, having fun, doing a little college work, and just being awesome. Can't ask for much more.
It's not like the ego isn't filling the entire room.
No, I'm not gonna. No, I'm not going.
Love you, Moody.
I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it. My watch
Love you,
shouts
Moody.
at me if I don't move every hour on my days off.
Nice.
So it's like, it goes, you've been inactive for an hour. I'm like, fine. And then I walk around a bit, and then it goes, great job. Literally, great job. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to sit down for another hour. Uninterrupted. I think I'm cursed though, right? So, like, I've been rewatching on Netflix How I Met Your Mother because it's easy and I've seen it before. So, like, I can have it on in the background when I'm doing stuff, or I can just have it on and not really pay too much attention to it.
Yeah.
All week, right? How I Met Your Mother, great sitcom, doesn't pull its punches from being serious from time to time. So, like, literally, like, I'll be watching an episode on my way to work, and it just so happened that it was the sad one. So then I get to work and I've watched the sad episode, and then I'll be like, another day I'll be like, oh, I'm on my lunch break, I'll watch an episode of How I Met Your Mother because they're only 22 minutes long, and it's a sad one, and then it's in the middle of work, or I'm watching one before we start recording this podcast, and it's one of the sad ones, and I'm just like, oh, I feel down now.
all those moments are just like, well, I get to feel sad and process this while I'm working.
Luckily, I've got you two to bring me back up. Luckily, I've got you to bring me back up, folks.
Yay! I will not do that face, so you're in good hands.
I remember people
I'm not. Stop with this pose. I'm still in a good mood.
In this week's episode, we discuss reports about Hideo Kojima's next game, MLB The Show and GTA 5 coming to Game Pass this month, Xbox talking game preservation, and more. Lots and lots more. There's timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube. And this podcast is available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Moody. It's available on Google Podcasts too. Yeah. And a couple other ones I've never heard of. So turns out, instead of paying like $14 a month for podcast hosting, if you just transfer everything across to a free podcast host, it gets you up on Google Podcasts within like 2 days.
Respect.
And sacrificing no functionality.
And money.
Nice.
In fact, I'm saving money. And this isn't an ad for Anchor, but I will say that like Anchor also lets me schedule episodes, unlike my previous podcast host, which didn't.
Podbean did.
I don't know.
I could schedule all the time.
Yeah, but it's a thing, right? I can upload it and walk away from it. Like on YouTube. It's not like, you have to be there to actually do the thing when the thing uploads, and then the thing takes ages to upload, and then you've got to go to work. And then when you get home, it's not uploaded, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Just be cool. Can you not just be cool? Just be cool. Anchor's cool, and Anchor's free. This isn't sponsored. I just really like Anchor.
Because it's free.
I've only been with them for a few days.
It got me on Google.
I checked it, everything. It's like, oh, there we are. Look. A leisure review. Oh, that was our newest one. Totally mispronounced it. Should we jump in?
Yes, let's jump in.
Let's jump in. Xbox is reportedly in talks to publish Hideo Kojima's next game. This is from Tom Ivan over at VGC, who writes, Microsoft is reportedly in talks with Hideo Kojima to publish the next game from the Japanese designer best known for the Metal Gear Solid series. That's according to VentureBeat, which claims Xbox hopes to make the second game from Death Stranding studio Kojima Productions the focus of a plan to leverage Japanese talent. While the site's source was unable to confirm if Microsoft has yet to actually sign a deal for the new Kojima game, it claims a Kojima Productions figure spotted on Xbox boss Phil Spencer's shelf during a presentation in February was hinting at a potential partnership. Prior to the launch of Microsoft's latest consoles in November 2020, Spencer also hid an Xbox Series S in plain sight on his bookshelf during interviews. VentureBeat's report was published in response to Wednesday's announcement of a new PS5 game called Abandoned. Set for release in the fourth quarter of 2021, Abandoned is described by Netherlands-based developer Blue Box Game Studios as, quote, a cinematic first-person horror survival shooter set in a highly detailed open-world environment, end quote. The studio's relative obscurity led to speculation that the game was actually being secretly developed by Kojima Productions. Kojima Productions confirmed in October 2020 that it was staffing up for a new game project. The Death Stranding developer said at the time that it was seeking the best-in-class talent to fill 25 open positions at its Tokyo studio. And then there's a bunch of stuff about, like, whatevs. Kojima said he was watching a bunch of horror movies ages ago. He wants to make a horror game.
Was Alien, and I was just like,
of course. I don't know if the dude needs any practice. I played PT. Like, I don't even need any practice at making things scary. But yeah. The internet went crazy for a while about some random indie developer's game. And also, Microsoft might be signing Hideo Kojima's next game and publishing it.
That is a coup and a half. So that everyone went crazy when PlayStation got them, when they came out on PlayStation and everything like that a few years ago. And announced that he was doing Death Stranding and it was exclusive to PlayStation, blah, blah, blah. That went completely bonkers and crazy, and everyone was really happy for that, especially with obviously how the bad blood that happened between the breakup between Kojima and Konami. I like what it says that this is also there'll be a focus to help plan leverage Japanese talent. Yeah,
that'll do it.
If you can't go for, you can't really go for the ones who are exclusively and never going to leave Nintendo. You go to the next best thing, and that is Kojima, and that's how it is. And that's if this does come out to be true and everything like that, which I'm guessing if it is, we'll find out probably in the summer at E3. It's gonna be a hell of a pop.
You could just remake the moment from E3, PlayStation's E3 press conference, where he walks down some stairs, and then he's just like, "Hello, everybody, I'm back," and then this trailer starts, and Norman Reedus is starring in it somehow.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
But yeah, this is everyone's been saying to Microsoft, you need to start pushing into Japan and everything like that. At least getting the developers or something like that on your side. Second best thing apart from Nintendo developers is Kojima.
If they're after Japanese talent, there's a lot of Japanese talent floating around out there since Sony decided to close the Japanese studio.
That is true. Foxes, what are your thoughts?
I purposefully timed that sip of tea because Sony sucks. Now let me take a drink out of this PlayStation glass. Sony sucks.
I mean, obviously, it's been a long time coming and a long thing that, Kojima's been wanting to mix horror back into his portfolio. And rightfully so. While at the same time, I'm very interested in what it's proposing to be, open world environment, very, highly detailed. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of take a step forward here, and I can see that if whatever that they've got working on, probably will be an Xbox exclusive or a timed release. I honestly would like them to focus on both. I know that's probably a big ask because they did the whole thing with Death Stranding and put on PlayStation, then it came to PC. And to be honest with you, I actually still haven't played Death Stranding, and I actually do want to, even though I know what I'm getting in for. But I'm a Kojima fan, to be fair. Played pretty much every one of his
game
Metal Gear.
2019.
Yeah. Anyways,
Control.
I am interested. I mean, obviously, for sure, but I do hope that because I would like a real, even, honest balance. Because if it's something that they can work in both systems, and work well. As like, and honestly, I'm also still really interested on what engine that they're gonna use. If they're still going to use the one that was being used for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Sony won't allow them to use that if it goes to Xbox.
That's what I was thinking.
It'll go to Unreal or Unity.
See, I'm wondering if he would actually maybe even seek out a different like engine, like maybe even or a proprietary engine. I mean, granted, that's a lot of work just for the next thing, but at the same time, it could be something worthwhile because he was also on hands-on with the Fox engine and with like the engine even before that, whichever that was.
I think you'd have much more success getting to use the PlayStation engine on an Xbox game than getting Konami's proprietary game engine.
No, no, they couldn't get that for sure. No, but I do wonder what he's got in mind and how it'll actually turn out, and when we'll even see the first official thing from them of being like whether it be like a sign or I doubt it would be a trailer. It would probably be like and honestly.
It'll be
a sigil or sign or something like that. He'll wear on his lapel or some shit that people won't notice until like the last second. Then they know they're like, oh, that's the icon for the new game or whatever the fuck,
It'll be
or he'll wear the shirt. Yeah.
It always is.
Yeah, that's true. So, question here for it: if this does come true, do you think this completely puts to bed Kojima of the rumors of Kojima working on the Silent Hill? If that even ever. Or do you think they're working on two?
You can't, right? Because that's Konami owned, right?
Kojima's not working on a Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that's what a ton of rumors have been out there and everything.
It'll never put the rumors to bed. Yeah. There'll always be somebody out there who's like, Kojima's obviously working on a Silent Hill game. And you try to be nice about it. You try to let people down gently. Like about like Kojima working on a Silent Hill game or a Dino Crisis remake, and eventually you just have to repeat yourself so much and just eventually just be harsh about it and just say it's not happening.
No,
stop
it. Never
it.
Will.
I don't know why you brought Dino Crisis into this, yeah.
I was just making it, it's something comparable, right? Like something that will never happen.
To be fair, Dino Crisis was kind of like a horror-based game in a way, especially around its first one, and that Yeah. I could actually see that, like, he's like, I'm not calling this Dino Crisis, but it's a first-person dinosaur shooter that has horror elements. It's open world.
Look, right. Hideo Kojima can make a horror game, and I got full faith in that because, I played PT, and I saw the one Silent Hills trailer that came out, and it's like, yeah, he's gonna scare the shit out of people, and that's all you need to do.
Yep.
Because he's weird. And, like, the best horror games are weird.
That's true. That's true.
Konami, you can't come after me because guess what? I literally own a separate fucking hard drive that has PT downloaded on it because I knew that shit was coming whenever you took it off the store. So I own it without you taking from me, bitch!
Yeah, and I have it on my PS4 downstairs. And Konami, you can come at me. Bring it on. Probably shouldn't say that, considering though of all the rumors about them like being part of the triad. What is it? The triad? No, that's the Chinese one. The Yakuza.
I love that I can keep my PS4 offline and I could just download. I could like install that and like be able to play it again anytime I want. That's such a good feeling.
Maybe I should play it again.
I've thought about like in like a year or two like playing it. And people are like, oh my god, is this the original? How are you playing? I'm like, that's right, bitch.
Oh yeah,
you can't
Day
get
one
me.
download.
You literally can't get me.
Never deleted it. I remember playing it day one, Gamescom.
To be fair though, there's so many games out there now that are like so PT like that people are just like, oh, this is just one of those other ones. Like,
right?
And you know what? To be fair, so a lot of them look exactly like it too.
And so. You know what? I've played so many PT clones, and none of them have been very good. We talked about one. Yeah, not that long ago, where it was like it's the hallway. It's the same freaking hallway, and the layout, and this bit, and then the skate. Oh, it was bad. It was bad, foxes.
I did see one recently. I think it was called like Bridge something or whatever the fuck, and it's like a top-down version of it, but they literally like recreated it in like a third-person top-down, and it was just like, you know what? While this looks jank, I kind of appreciate like the novelty of it, you know.
Anyway, from Japan to baseball, which is actually quite popular in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
MLB The Show 21 is coming to Xbox Game Pass at launch. This is from Chris Hull over at Engadget. He writes, Xbox is bringing another major third-party title to Game Pass on release day. What makes MLB The Show 21 a little different from the many other games on the service is that PlayStation Studios developed and published it. This marks not only the debut of the series on non-PlayStation platforms, but also the first time Sony has published a game on Xbox. MLB The Show 21 will arrive on April 20th. That's just a couple of weeks after opening day of the 2021 MLB season, so baseball hype should still be at a high level. Members of Game Pass will be able to play MLB The Show at no extra cost on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S later this month, and Ultimate subscribers can step up to the plate on Android phones and tablets via Xbox Cloud Gaming. Both the Xbox One and Series X and S versions will be available on Game Pass. MLB The Show 21 supports cross-platform play and progression, so if one of your friends picks it up for PS4 or PS5, you'll be able to take them on. Well, I'm speechless. I don't know about anybody else.
This was absolute. This is insane. There's no doubt about this. I know a lot of people have been like talking about this, like Chris, because this obviously dropped. I think it was like the
when the
next day after we
podcast,
did,
published it.
which
The
is obviously
usual,
a pain in the ass.
the usual.
The usual as always for us, yeah. This is absolutely bonkers. Didn't see this happen. We always knew that like PlayStation, Xbox are always talking in some type of manner, but was it ever going to be some about games and everything like that?
Well, this decision was apparently by MLB.
It wouldn't surprise me that they would want it on every platform to get
But,
the most,
I mean,
most book out of it.
Yeah, I mean, we knew they were publishing on PlayStation. Obviously, we knew they were publishing on Xbox, but the for it to be in Game Pass, like me and you, really, we could just download MLB The Show 21.
Yeah, we could. I might actually give
Whatever.
it a try now.
Suckers on PlayStation gonna have to pay $70 for it.
Oh yeah, it did not look good. The next day after this was revealed, the PlayStation tweeted out, "You can also buy MLB so 21 on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5,
Full price,
whatever price, for full price." And I was just like, "Oh good God." It's called timing, guys.
Oh no!
You
but
really
it's fine.
need to fix your social media game, PlayStation. You really need to.
But it's fine. This month's PS Plus game was Oddworld.
Honestly, great game though. To be fair.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not just throwing shade at Oddworld. It's just like MLB The Show, right? It's like it's Game Pass subscription on Xbox or $70 on your PlayStation. You know, it's not like PlayStation developed and published the game and where they did. That's wild. That's so wild to me.
It is wild.
So, on one hand, this is actually a pretty big deal because of the fact that like it's like what kind of Sony crossover Xbox bullshittery is this? Oh wait, it's from Powers Beyond You. Oh okay, I got you. All right. And then the other side of me is like,
I mean, it's baseball, right? It's not
yeah,
it's not the coolest
But
thing ever.
at the same time, it's big. It is big news because like I know that there is fans for sure. There's fans, and there are people who could be like, "Holy shit, well, I could just play it for what a subscription now is $5 a month, something like that." Is it that cheap?
I don't know. I've paid for it like 2 years.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember
anymore.
anymore.
I think it's $10 now.
10. Yeah, like people will easily go
$9.99.
Oh,
and I think it was $14.99 for Ultimate. So
now those who are limited, which there are plenty who are, I'm sure that they're quite upset. They're just like, well, where are you going to be offering this to PS Plus? Like, so that way I don't necessarily have to fucking pay full price for this? No, you're not. Okay, great. I'm just going to get fucked. Sorry. Like, I don't want to be so crude there, but yeah.
Be as crude as you want. Spot on as well. Like, you gotta own a PS5 if you're like an MLB The Show fan, and just be like looking across at like Xbox, like getting your baseball game for the first time ever, but also getting it as part of a subscription service, and just being like, what the fuck?
Pretty much.
Yep. So
it literally says PlayStation Studios when I boot the game. What the fuck? With that stupid Marvel rip-off title screen that they do now. Like, what the fuck?
You know Xbox are going to do their own version soon.
PlayStation, honestly.
But no, yeah, this is... So I didn't know the caveat, what you said, until you said that MLB have requested this. So I don't think this is as big as what I think everyone makes it out to be. They're thinking like of, what could this mean? Could PlayStation put more of their games on there? Could we see Horizon? Could we see this? It's like, I didn't know that caveat until you said something, Amy. So like I say, yeah, this is excellent for the Xbox gamers. It sucks if you're a PlayStation gamer. But we've been tooting the horn for years. Xbox Game Pass is the best product in gaming today.
Not even just that. So, like, we've had two more Xbox stories after this, and then one funny one later, like, right at the end of the show, right? So, like, 5 Xbox stories in 1 week, right? Now, I used to be on an Xbox podcast, like, yeah, a few years ago, and we used to always talk about Xbox. Like, mindshare was always, like, a big deal, right? It's like, what are you talking about, and how are you talking about it? And Xbox didn't have great mindshare, even just a few years ago. And I was, like, thinking about this, all the other stories, the last few weeks where I think it's like, including this episode of the podcast, like 3 of the last 5 episodes of all the headlines have all been Xbox related, and they've all been really positive. And like, usually within those episodes, we talk about multiple Xbox stories per week. Like, at this point, it sometimes feels like I'm back on the Xbox podcast, just with different people around me. And like, the one thing we've talked about PlayStation in the last few weeks, for a couple of weeks running, and another week probably this week, is like the thing where it's like the opinion ranges from neutral to negative, right? Like, think the PlayStation 3 Vita Store stuff. It's just like, Xbox have really good mindshare right now. Everybody's talking about them constantly.
It's really interesting because I do agree with you. When I was floating around for, before I decided to go PC only, I was mostly playing on like PlayStation because I remember I still own a OG white PS4 when I bought it with Destiny 1.
Damn, you got one of the white ones. Nice.
Yeah. It still runs, surprisingly enough. It hasn't crashed.
Yeah, my launch day PS4 is currently in the sitting room. I've literally used it as a Netflix box for the last like 6 months.
It's exactly what I use mine for now. But I would have probably told you, PS Plus is, and or like Origin if you're on PC or like whatever it may be. I think it was literally called just Origin Play or whatever the fuck it was before. They named it
Origin Access.
EA Play. Origin. Yep.
Premiere
was like the best subscriptions at the times. Xbox Game Pass is literally your best subscription if you don't already own it. Like, if you're not interested, sure, that's perfectly fine. But if you are even somewhat interested, yes, it is. Like, I even own it just on PC, like, so I'd be able to play like Halo and Sea of Thieves and whatever the fuck I want.
Undertale and Octopath Traveler and MLB.
Exactly. Yeah, if I really feel the need. So it's yes, like it is. You're right about like it just like mind share and just making moves. Like, in all honesty, also doing the whole thing of cross playing with PC to Xbox. I mean, whether you're doing that with Gears or Halo, whatever it may be. These are things that I remember talking with Moody like years ago and talking about how, like, man, I would love more crossplay stuff so we can get like different kinds of gamers. Like, I think I remember even like saying that whenever I was playing Fortnite, and oh my god, do I regret that? But still,
What's up, Fortnite?
Good. Thank you.
I'm just
anyways,
kidding. I played it for 45 minutes.
I enjoy all this connectivity. Granted, yes, it does comes with some of its hiccups. I mean, especially with this whole thing with like Outriders. But at the same time, I'm glad that we are thinking this way, using that mind share and just being like, let's connect and play with as many people as possible, because why not? It's like, yeah, then we can get rid of all these boundaries and borders.
Yeah, boundaries and borders are bad. The thing is, right? This is my last contribution before we talk about everything else Xbox. People how do I describe them? Normies in my everyday life. Shall we call them? And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. Like, obviously, no, I do Twitch and YouTube, and I talk about games, and I live and breathe games, but I don't like talking about them in real life, yet they still keep asking me questions about them. Thanks very much, guys. But anyway, constantly will ask me, like, whenever the fucking new console generations are coming around, and it's always like, oh, which one should I get, an Xbox or a PlayStation? And it's like, I mean, I don't know you, right? Like, we're not that close.
But I digress. Playing, that's usually my first question.
Yeah, but it's like, so like, there's like, I always qualify my recommendations, right? It's like, there's games I would never recommend, Moody, even if I love them, like, just because I know you wouldn't like them. So like, when we get into it, and it's like, I gotta be polite. It's like, okay, what kind of games do you like? What are this? What about that? Blah blah blah. And like, you know. But now it's like, I don't envisage right now, this very second, April 8th, 2021, like, I don't envisage many ways in which I'm not just going to be like, get an Xbox. Get an Xbox, get this Game Pass thing. You're sorted. Why would you get a PS5? Like, if PS5 wasn't backwards compatible with PS4, I wouldn't have turned the fucking thing on in about 3 months.
I mean, and then you could literally top it off. They just signed a deal with, Bethesda and the Doom games and or Fallout or whatever the fuck you like is on that too. There you go.
There's going to be tons of games on Game Pass for everybody, like, because there's just such a diverse range of games on it.
I agree.
And PlayStation have released Demon's Souls. PS5.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good.
It's a great game.
Supposedly fun, great game. Yeah.
Like, it's a fantastic game.
The one, yeah, exactly.
The one game.
which, to be fair, I feel like that's exactly actually kind of like Sony's MO right now, is that they're very focused on quality single projects, which, to be honest with you, is fine.
It's a great focus, but like quality over quantity. It's a great focus for PlayStation have, but Xbox has quality and quantity.
I agree.
And they're getting a lot of that from third parties. Yeah. Like, you can play, apart from Like a Dragon, you can play the entire Yakuza series on Game Pass. There's like 3 Final Fantasies in Game Pass.
I was legitimately surprised if, like, I think I saw 4 or 5 just on the PC little, and I was like, I can play all these? This is all available? I'm not a fan, but wow.
I guarantee by the end of the year, Like a Dragon will be on there as well.
I agree. Yeah, it'll be on there.
Like, you can legitimately buy Game Pass and never buy a game for the entire rest of 2021 and not even notice. And be able to play a lot of new releases anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it hasn't even gotten going yet. Like, the Xbox Game Studio games are still like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years away before it really kicks in.
Yeah. I recently, sorry, I know what's going on this. I recently started playing Gears 5 with a friend, and I'm legitimately actually enjoying myself because
it's a great game.
It's interesting because, like, 4 was fun. Like I enjoy 4. You know, I enjoy playing the campaign. The multiplayer I'm just trash at, so I'm just like, I don't even put any like heart or soul into it. I do enjoy their wave-based thing. I enjoyed that in 4, actually. I think I enjoyed that the most about 4, I'm not gonna lie. But 5, as just an overall experience, not only just like playing it, looking at it, the new stuff that they decided to add, I was like, this is kind of what I've been wanting from Gears, and it's just really good. And I'm excited to see what Coalition does for Gears 6 or whatever the next title is. I legitimately want to see what, Xbox Studios and Coalition and all their parties, all got in mind.
Yeah, I mean, I have a terrible memory and forget everything, but I still remember how Gears 5 ended because it was
I
good.
I actually don't. Like I just started it, and so like I just got in that win thing, which is so cool. Actually, I
Oh yeah,
enjoy
when
that.
you're
It's
driving
so
around the thing.
neat.
And
Yeah. I was like, this is cool. Like, why haven't we done this before in Gear? Like, this is kind of neat. Like, they just open up the environments, and I'm like, yeah, like this is such a great idea. Anyways, but yeah,
Speaking of great ideas, GTA 5 returns to Xbox Game Pass this month. This is from Emma Kent over at Eurogamer, who writes, if you somehow haven't tried out Grand Theft Auto 5 yet, hello. Another opportunity to take it for a spin has arrived, as the game is once again joining Xbox Game Pass. As announced on Xbox Wire, GTA 5 is coming to the cloud and console versions of Game Pass on the 8th of April. This isn't the first time the game has joined the subscription service. It was available between January and May last year, before it was replaced by Red Dead Redemption 2. You may recall that GTA 5 was also given away for free on the Epic Games Store in May 2020, and was so popular that it caused Epic Games services to go a bit wobbly. Joining GTA 5 on 8th of April, you can also expect to find Zombie Army 4 Dead War for cloud console and PC, along with Disneyland Adventures and Rush a Disney a Disney Pixar adventure on the cloud. On the 12th of April, you can access NHL 21 on console. Why did I buy that? I knew this was going to happen. Why did I buy it?
Because you wanted to support them.
It's EA. I never want to support EA. I mean, well, on the 15th of April, indie game Rain on Your Parade, about a cardboard cloud that rains on people, will become available on cloud, console, and PC. 12th of April will also see turn-based tactics game Pathway come to Game Pass on PC.
Pathway. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I remember playing it. It's pretty cool. It was alright. It wasn't amazing, but you know, it's not going to cost you anything if you got Game Pass.
Yeah, true.
That's true. So go on what you said from the last story, Amy. Don't worry, I will bring it back to this one. Don't worry. That I agree with you that I think right now Xbox are getting that right balance of having quantity but having quality, because that's I think the big thing. Like when it comes to normal streaming services instead in general, that they'll throw it out. Their main thing is quantity over quality. For the most part, there's some great stuff on those sites still, but it's mostly quantity. Game Pass right now have got that right balance where I think it's half and half, I would say, or maybe even just a little bit overlaps that there's more quality than quantity overall, maybe. Because they've got like GTA, the GTA games apart from Vice have never really clicked for me and like that, but now GTA 5 consistently is one of the biggest selling games every year, and it came out 2 generations ago. And that's which is how bonkers this is, and to know that this is returning to Game Pass, which I'm guessing it will last like what how long was it on for? Like 4 months, wasn't it, or something like that? I will not be surprised it'll hop off in 4 months, and then Red Dead will come back again, or something like that. And there's this is just keep giving you that balance all the time, and they're doing a great job with that.
I agree. Obs. Weird if I was like, nobody, I disagree, but you just said. That's cool. More good games. And I still think I need to finish Zombie Army 4, so I guess I could download it and finish it because I played it last year.
So I played 3. I remember actually kind of having some fun with it. Is Zombie Army 4 like 3 felt very much like kind of like an older game. But
yeah, it still feels like a classic third-person shooter, from what I remember. It was like February last year. I played it.
4 seemed like that it was kind of more of the same, but they added a bunch of new stuff to it.
Yeah. Like, I played a decent chunk of it. I was having fun with it.
Nice.
But I remember. I mean, I played it when we didn't even know what a lockdown was. So.
As far as GTA 5 goes, I played it. I beat it. I had a semi good time. That's cool. It just keeps coming back because I mean, like, it's funny. You're right. You said it's like 2 generations old, and the servers for them have never stopped. Granted, some of them get closed down or just close altogether because there aren't enough people playing them for like specific modes or something like that. But so it's not really shut down. But it's interesting how I guarantee that this will probably like, I don't know, have people like pop back in and do some more deathmatch servers or continue, because I'm sure there are people still out there doing the driving ones, you know, with all the wacky crazy stuff. And then there's always the heist. Actually, when GTA 5 comes back, does it come back with like everything, or is it just base GTA?
It's probably just base GTA.
Yeah.
Most games on Game Pass don't come with DLC, but like there's a discount on buying like expansions and stuff, because I played Fallout New Vegas last year on Game Pass, and like all the expansions, like I could buy them for like next to nothing, but they didn't come included with it.
That's fair. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. Quality.
I mean, they're worth buying. It's fucking great. Like I would have bought New Vegas, but I didn't need to.
I actually didn't play GTA 5 until it was like the updated, like remastered, you know, version with all the updated graphics and
PS4,
all that stuff.
Xbox One.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't play GTA 5 until snap! I've never played it.
Never
Not my thing.
It's meh. It's okay. It's fine. Honestly, it just becomes, me personally, it becomes a little like too ham-fisty, and it's just like, all right, I really couldn't give a shit, and you know, I'm just out here trying to play it for like its, you know, its gameplay and its mechanics. I would probably enjoy a GTA more if it was way more structured in its actual story, kind of like Vice was. I actually enjoyed Vice as well.
Brilliant.
Or it's actually way more specific about, you know, like the character that you create and what kind of job you do. You know, I mean, granted, yes, it'll be crime related, but at the same time, like, if you're a crime lord or like you were an assassin or, you know, like whatever the fuck. Like, I think I would probably enjoy the next GTA you would hook me to actually buy it. I mean, granted, everyone's gonna buy. Oh, not everyone, obviously, but most people are gonna buy the next GTA because it's GTA. People just end up buying GTA because they just do, because it's the
over
big
and
money.
over and over and over.
It's the big money.
Still buy it now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, GTA 6, the people bought it. They would buy it right now if they can. Oh,
yeah, I won't lie. I got it
for free. I only had to wait 7 years. And speaking of old ass games, the latest hot topic to take over discussion and discourse around gaming Twitter. Xbox talks up preservation in weak Nintendo polls games, and Sony confirms store closures. This is from Tom Ivan over at VGC, who writes, Microsoft has talked up the importance of game preservation in the same week that Nintendo pulled several games from sale and Sony confirmed store closures. I just love it when articles just like copy paste the headline and that's the first line of the article. Backward compatibility has been a key feature of Microsoft's Xbox Series X and S marketing efforts, with the company promoting the console's ability to play a wide range of original Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One games. Many games take advantage of the new console's capability to look and play better than they originally did, and others support features like FPS Boost, which almost doubles the original frame rate, and Auto HDR, which adds HDR enhancements to games which only shipped with standard dynamic range. And on Tuesday, Microsoft brought backwards compatible titles to Xbox Cloud Gaming for the first time by making a number of classic games from Rare, Bethesda, and others available to Android users with an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. They include Banjo-Kazooie, Fable 2, and entries in the Viva Pinata, Perfect Dark, Elder Scrolls, and Gears of War series. Quote, as time goes on, it becomes more important than ever that we ensure gaming icons and classics are preserved for new and old players alike, the official Xbox Twitter account posted on Wednesday. Whether your first time playing Morrowind is from 2002 on your Xbox, it was, thank you, or 2021 on your phone, we're excited to share these experiences with you, end quote. When Xbox Cloud Gaming launches for iOS and PC in the spring of 2021, Microsoft has said it will be also adding over 1 billion devices as a path to playing in the Xbox ecosystem. In an Xbox Wire interview this week, Rare Studio head Craig Duncan said backward compatibility is playing an essential role in preserving video game history. Quote, there are just a bunch of inherent complexities when generations and platforms change, and being able to relive games you played previously and fondly remember is important. Those games contain memories and moments you can share with others, and being able to do that quickly by just selecting the game in Xbox Game Pass is easy and just works, with no fuss. The alternative is firing up an older console, finding all the cables, and preserving the discs so they still work, which some collectors do as a passionate hobby. Making a history of games available to everyone and making your game library a click away is awesome. End quote. Game preservation and accessibility is a hot topic at the moment. Earlier this week, Sony confirmed it plans to close the PlayStation Store on PS3, PSP, and PS Vita this summer. Although users will still be able to re-download their previous purchases for the foreseeable future, from July 2nd it will no longer be possible to buy games on the PS3 or PSP online marketplaces, and come August 27th, the same will apply to the Vita too. And on Wednesday, Nintendo pulled Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which includes re-releases of Mario titles 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy, from sale after 6 months of availability. An anonymous development source who claimed to have knowledge of Nintendo's strategy told Vice the company's limited-time game releases are designed to feel the fear of missing out and drive consumers to buy software releases, which can be a tough sell. So, we butted heads on this one last week, Foxes. Me and Moody. On game preservation. I want to know your take on it. I mean, for starters, just before you get into that, for starters, it was super smart of Microsoft to come out and just say all of this stuff because it was an open goal. For them. But what are your thoughts
on game preservation? I understand why some things, like whether it be video games with servers that were open that end up getting left open to either its player base, which very rarely ever happens, or mostly just gets closed down, or you have some games that just there is no literal access to them, and unless you go to specific things, and then even then it's not always available. I.e., I remember I actually tried to play Advanced Warfighter 2, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2, and come to find out that I couldn't because it was only available on one or two select things, and then I had to. I think one of them was eBay, and I was like, "What? No, I can't! I can't just have a direct link to." Nope, that kind of.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I was sad because when I was thinking about doing the Call of Duty series as a series of videos, and for some weird reason, Call of Duty 3 is not available digitally on PC.
That hurts.
Of all the Call of Duties, just randomly, Call of Duty 3 isn't available. So I had to buy an Xbox 360 copy. Because obviously, backwards compatibility, but
yeah, exactly. So I'm actually really thankful because there's GOG or Games on Galaxy got some
good old games. There it is.
Thank you. Good old games.
Call of Duty.
I'm really thankful. That's awesome, actually. I'm really thankful for them because they keep direct open servers and or links and updated I wouldn't say graphics, but resolutions and stuff like they have the original Diablo 1, which is funny because Blizzard should own that, but at the same time it's on GOG, and I think actually Blizzard now just put it on their Blizzard app, I think, as well, just recently. I remember hearing about that. I'm all for actual preservation. I understand why it can't happen sometimes, for some games,
like Mag on PS3.
Exactly. Or Battlefield 2142. Can't play that. No. Or at least I'm pretty sure you can't play that.
Server-based multiplayer games. Yeah, you're right. It does make sense.
Yeah.
Because you need servers for those.
Yeah, exactly. And it does suck. But at the same time, I so I'm kind of in the fence. I get it. At the same time, I would rather it to be yeah, I'd love to be able to go back and play. Yeah, let's say 2142 for example, but server based. And it's it's kind of one of those things that damned if you do, damned if you don't. But at the same time, I like that Microsoft is taking the foot forward, but at the same time, I'm a little okay. I will say one thing: I'm a little bit confused on when PlayStation closed stores. Like these are they talking about like physical stores, or they mean like
the PS3, PS Vita, and PSP digital stores.
oh, interesting.
Yeah,
That sucks actually.
they don't have any physical stores. I don't
Gotcha.
think.
So then they would actually have to go out to. Well, I mean, GameStop's still going, right? So
For now.
yeah.
Yeah, so like the
No,
digital
it does suck, to be fair.
PS3 games and PS Vita games and PSP games and by extension PS1 classics.
Yeah.
And PS2. I think there was some PS2 backwards compatible stuff as well. You won't be able to buy them from the dates. I've already scrolled down for the dates that I read in the story.
So I would like to preserve, but at the same time, I'm understanding of why we can't. That's my take on it.
So Foxes is the one standing in between us while we shout at each other about art and history. He took both sides. He was clever. Yeah, if you saw last week's podcast, me and Moody talked about it, and it kind of ended with me being like, "No, it's an art form. You can't take an art form seriously if you can't play the history of the art form." And Moody just being like, "Yeah, but I don't care." And those are very paraphrased and simplistic versions of our arguments.
I was going to say, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. We're not entitled to them. That's what I was saying.
It's not about entitlement. It's about
yes, it is.
It's about preserving the history of an art form, and we're right back to where we started.
I am for.
And then I made my aliens
game.
comment. I did the thing with the alien where I was like, "Yeah, old things, right? Like aliens, the whole alien sucks speech."
Oh yeah, you said that. Yeah. This is great and everything like that from Xbox, and they do like what you said in right at the bat. Like this is perfect time for them to drop it while my Sony and Nintendo are basically saying, "Screw you" to anyone who wanted to play these games and everything like that. But I'll still stand on my mountain by myself and everything like that.
You're not by yourself.
Oh, that's good. That's good then.
I'm up there. I'm gonna push you off.
I thought so. Yeah. Yeah, but I've lost my train of thought now.
Yes. I win. It's not a winning and losing thing. I respect Mooney's opinion. I just happen to disagree with it.
I'll say one thing right now. I've seen like a couple of things online and everything like that, and I do not. And I think what I'm about to say, I think you're gonna know what I'm gonna lead to here, Amy, and everything like that. But I do not condone piracy or anything like that. So for me, I don't condone it, and I'll never will. So
I do not condone video game emulation in any way.
Oh shit.
I do not participate, and I do not condone it.
I played the fifth.
We don't have this. We don't have that over in the UK.
Where I am currently, I played the fifth. No, okay.
I
so
do not have.
Go on.
Oh wait.
I was just going to continue the bit. I do not have several emulators and several PlayStation and or Saturn games currently sitting on my computer ready for me to make videos about them.
So I actually like. It's funny because I literally just used to, but only just used to because I just deleted it whenever I was actually cleaning out my hard drives and like what I wanted to keep. I'll openly admit this. Before it came to PlayStation, I owned Mega Man 2.
Cool.
Yeah, I love that game.
What I will say is, in a hypothetical scenario where I do have emulators on my PC, and again, hypothetical, if the companies responsible for publishing those games were to give me a legal avenue to purchase them and play them, I would do both. Hypothetically.
Yo, Mega Man 2's the shit.
I mean, I know, yeah, Mega Man 2 is the shit. Suikoden 2, though, wow, what a great game. Still holds up in 2021.
Hey, Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross? Oh, I'm just saying.
Damn, now I've lost my train of thought. All games are great. Oh, yeah, the video you were alluding to, yeah. I know which video you were talking about.
No, I used to. I actually legit, but like now, that was the last game I owned, and like I said, I actually just deleted it. And because I used to own quite a few, legitimately, I used to own a whole hard drive, about 500 gigs worth of just old libraries. And man, it was really nice. But then when I really started thinking about it, I was like, I don't play nearly anywhere near half of these because it's almost 500 gigs worth. There's no purpose, no point. So yeah, I don't know. It was fun, but
if only there was
like,
a hard drive in the sky, maybe in the clouds somewhere, where you could pay to access these games. But I don't know what you would call it.
Moody's so blank face.
I know he just doesn't care. He's like, Dino Crisis, nah, that shit sucked.
Did indeed.
Nintendo, Xbox, and Ubisoft back digital only E3 2021. This is from Christopher Dring over at GamesIndustry.biz, who writes, E3 2021 will return this June in digital form and has been backed by Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Bros. And Koch Media. It's a strong lineup, especially with the two platform holders on board. However, there are some notable absentees, including Sony, EA, Activision Blizzard, no loss there, Sega, Bandai Namco, and Square Enix. The event takes place between June 12th and June 15th, so there's still time for other publishers to sign up. This year's show will be online only, but very little details are available besides that. The press release states that developers will be showcasing their latest news and games directly to fans around the world, with the ESA working with media to amplify and make this content available to everyone for free. GamesIndustry.biz understands this may take the form of media-only days and streaming technology. Yeah, I know, right? Like, we spent all that time just being like, why would I pay for my adverts, ESA? Come on. Get your head out your ass. And they were like, oh yeah, that's a good point, Amy and Moody. Specifically, Amy and Moody. That's a good point. We should make it free. Quote, for more than 2 decades, E3 has been the premier venue to showcase the best that the video game has to offer while uniting the world through games, said ESA's CEO Stanley Pierre-Louis. We are evolving this year's E3 into a more inclusive event, but will still look to excite the fans with major reveals and insider opportunities that make this event the indispensable center stage for video games. End quote. For free, Moody. For free.
Microsoft told them off indeed. I bet they were.
1 week later.
Yeah, something like that. Well, I thought after we were hearing something about that, I was thinking we were going to hear something in a month or so, if less. And I was being generous on the time scale, personally. This is great. We now have a platform. We now know when the dates are properly now, because I think they were always saying like the middle of June. They weren't giving a definitive date, I believe, but now they give a definitive date.
It's more or less in line with what they would have.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there, but and everything like that. But, Microsoft, Capcom, Konami, who cares about Konami? Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Bros., Nintendo, Koch
Konami
Media.
still make games?
That's true. What type of game do you want?
Not a football game.
Oh,
I was gonna say, how about Pez? Pez? Maybe Pez.
Metal Gear Survive 2.
All coming back. That's fantastic. We're looking forward to it. This is going to be great. It's going to be great just to like hop into Discord here. One of us like share a screen and watch together, and that all of us come in together. I think that's going to be fantastic. Good little chat, good little bonkers chat. Hopefully, seeing some great surprises to get us truly excited for the games to come and everything. Going on to the absentees, Sony's going to do their own thing.
Sony's going to Sony.
Yeah, EA is going to be there, but they're going to be just saying it's EA Play. We're not at E3. They're just going to do it at E3, do it E3
around just before E3, right? Like,
or something like that.
Activision Blizzard, fuck Activision.
No one cares.
Sega, I mean, they might get bought by Xbox any day now. Any day now, they're going to get bought by Xbox.
Yeah, Bandai Namco. I think they'll just go to to what
Bandai
they'll think,
Namco will just be Xbox.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. So
Is
Square Enix,
Square-
they might do their own thing. It all depends if they have anything they want to share. And
Yeah, I
everything.
was gonna say,
It also
Square
depends on
doing their
what
own
deals
thing?
they have with Sony. Sorry for putting in their foxes.
No, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Like
There's
half
all
their
depends
games
on-
are PlayStation 5
Yeah.
timed exclusives.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I'd be very surprised if they're not going to want Sony or want them to be shown on their thing whenever their next true big thing is and whatnot. So
May.
if they actually do a true big thing is because I don't know if it was you said it, Amy, or if someone else on Twitter that says that, or who I've watched online and everything has said
You watch other people.
maybe
online?
they're going to do
Fuck.
small things or something like one little game. Like they might do a showcase for the next Ratchet and Clank that's going to come up. Like they did with
PlayStation
The Last
won't.
of
No,
Us. Yeah,
they won't do that.
I think- yeah.
It's a sound idea in theory, but they do a couple of those and like they'll just start getting shouted at by all the people online if they don't like do a normal state of play with like multiple games in it. Like
They got out with that even on their normal sort of play.
more, you know what I mean?
By the way, I didn't watch their most recent thing that they put out. What was that? It was an actual state of play. Did they even like release anything new?
There was
No.
one. What the hell was in that state of play? It wasn't even that long ago.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, did they
We
actually
talked
even
about
We
say
it.
talked
anything?
about it.
Yeah.
Oddworld was coming to PS Plus. Final
Yeah.
Fantasy
Oddworld.
7.
I do remember Oddworld.
Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
yeah.
7 integrate, but then they didn't announce it was going to be a PS Plus game at the state of play and waited for
that's
like 2
right.
days.
The Battle Royale. Oh,
And the Battle Royale, which also wasn't announced at the state of play.
Oh, it wasn't?
No. What the hell was in that state of play? There must have been something.
That
Shit.
Square Enix project game that now has a name.
Project Athia, yes.
Yeah, that's now called Forbidden or
Don't remember.
Forsaken or something.
Forspoken.
Or Forspoken.
You had a weird name.
And you had a 4 in it.
Damn! Like, I can't believe PlayStation did a state of play and I have forgotten about it already. Like, wow, that's not usual for Sony. Like, gotta admit, they usually hit, like, with something. That's interesting. That's really fascinating.
They still got a lot of views for it. So
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. It's just one of those
they're
things where it's like,
we're good.
it's normally way more memorable than that. There's only one thing I can go, no, it was this.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
this. It was the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis event. It was the Final Fantasy 7 gameplay reveal. You know, like, there's always one thing I can usually point to from a state of play and go, it was that.
Because we've also got to remember, like Capcom, they've been doing their own thing. The Resident Evil things, they've been doing their own thing. They've got a new one, I think,
Yeah.
coming next week.
They do.
And now and everything. So they talk about
On
Resi-
podcast
Resi-
recording night, dickheads.
They didn't show Final Fantasy
16?
16? Yeah, thank you. 16
That was
at
last
there.
year.
That was last year.
Okay.
Yeah, there was
They
a great
said-
one last year. There was 2 great ones last year.
Yeah.
To be fair, the CD looked amazing, but you know, now
That's
at this
so
point,
weird.
all right, yeah.
Like, if Foxes hadn't have said there was a state of play recently, I wouldn't have even remembered. I would have been like,
So-
yeah, they're going to do their first one in May.
So that's what I'm saying. What do we think? Do we think they do something before
In
E3?
May, yeah. I think
think?
they'll do something in May. They'll pimp out Ratchet and Clank. They'll talk about whatever games they're giving away, like as part of their Play at
yeah.
Home initiative.
forgot
They'll
about
announce a game coming out. They'll talk about whatever game they think's coming out in their fall/winter 2021, and then like they'll delay it later on in the year.
Question: what was the studio that did that Order 1886 or whatever that game was
Santa
called?
Monica?
Ready at Dawn.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They're not a
what was their-
PlayStation studio.
yeah.
Oh, they're not. Oh, okay.
No, the last
They-
time I saw them, they were
PlayStation
making
own-
indie games.
Yeah, PlayStation on the IP, but yeah.
And they will never make another one. Ready at Dawn's making Lone Echo 2 at the moment. Lone Echo on Oculus, a fucking great game. Like, oh my god, so good.
What's that?
It's like a VR space game where you move around in like a space station, but like in VR, like you're in 0G. It's pretty cool. There was a multiplayer like add-on to it as well called Echo Arena, which was also really good. The issue being, it's a VR game, so
Oh, yeah.
not many people have played it.
Eh,
Like, I don't care how good Half-Life Alyx is, Valve, and it is amazing. I've played it, but the cost of entry to play it is pretty fucking high. Just saying. Wow, we need to trim some of these news stories now. Does anyone really want to talk about Mass Effect?
I knew that was going to be his
Of course I'm going to read this next story, Moody, but I'm going to start deleting some while you waffle on about Mass Effect. BioWare details the gameplay changes coming to Mass Effect Legendary Edition. This is from Igor from Engadget, who writes, when BioWare announced Mass Effect Legendary Edition earlier this year, it promised gameplay refinements for all 3 games in the original trilogy. In a blog post published on Tuesday, the studio has now detailed most of those enhancements. And as you might have guessed, the original Mass Effect, now almost 15 years old, got the most attention. Among the changes the studio introduced to combat in the first game, it says it made accuracy between all the different weapons more consistent. BioWare also tightened the camera for aiming down sights, and the game now includes a dedicated melee button. The studio says those changes make the combat feel snappier in Mass Effect. To go along with those refinements, BioWare added more cover for you and your squad mates to hide behind in some combat encounters, and tweaked select boss fights and enemies to be fairer for players but still challenging. Of course, combat is only part of the Mass Effect experience. The game's infamous Mako vehicle has also got its fair share of tweaks. BioWare says it changed handling to make the Mako feel weightier, so it shouldn't slide around as much. It also has a new set of boosters separate from its jump jets to allow you to go faster. Additionally, it now features improved camera controls.
Yes, that means I can go up those fucking mountains easier. Sorry.
No, you're spot on. There are also several changes coming to all 3 games, one of which is that the trilogy now features a unified character creator. Thank you, God. So your Commander Shepard will look consistent throughout their entire mission against the Reapers. BioWare has also integrated DLC weapons and armor so that you earn them as you play through the story instead of them being unlocked as soon as you start one of the games. Yeah, I remember having that Dragon Age armor in Mass Effect 2.
Dragon Age armor, motherfucker! Fine, I'll just replay this many times on twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames.
We should note, one thing that the remasters won't add is same-sex romances. Lastly, the studio has reworked the Galaxy at War system from Mass Effect 3. That was the mechanic that played a significant role in the ending of the final game. It used to be that you had to download a companion app and take part in multiplayer to get the best possible conclusion to the trilogy. However, with neither of those features making the jump to the remaster, BioWare has changed the system to instead take into account the actions you take across all 3 games. Oh, it's funny, I'm sure that's what they said they were going to do originally when the game first came out. That's fascinating. In short, the more content you complete, the more likely you'll get the best ending. Oh, I want to say so many things. BioWare plans to share more details on the visual enhancements it made to the trilogy next week. In the meantime, IGN uploaded an 11-minute preview of those to its YouTube channel, which I did actually watch. Anyway, discuss. I'm going to trim the notes down.
I have to say one thing. Wait, so have they removed same-sex romances in the game?
In Mass Effect 1, there weren't any same-sex romances.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Okay.
Actually, no, come to think about it, in Mass Effect 2, there also weren't any same-sex romances. It was just in Mass Effect 3. With the shuttle pilot and the communications lady. Liara doesn't count.
Yeah.
No, Liara doesn't count. Wait, I thought you could do
Caden or Cater.
I can't remember the.
Only if you're a lady, Shepard.
Yep.
I can't fully remember. Okay, we'll get back to that.
Trust me, I played Mass Effect 1 and 2 73 times.
Damn.
Trust me, I know.
Rookie numbers, whatever. This sounds great. I won't lie. Obviously, like they've said many times, but obviously we all knew that Mass Effect 1 was going to get the most treatment out of all of this. To hear that they're tightening up the gameplay, they're making it more snappier, making it more better for you to shoot down the sight and everything like that. It's really great to hear that. It's fantastic to hear that the Mako sound is heavier, weightier now, and she'll be able to control that bugger foxes. That'll be good things to hear.
Yes. Okay, so I will say one thing personally. I didn't know this. I thought that they were actually going to bring back servers for. I know I'm probably in the minority here, but I was a fan of
Mass
3's
Effect 3's
multiplayer.
multiplayer was great.
Yeah,
I
it's
loved it.
really good.
It was
personally,
really good.
it's a PvE third person shooter that's round based, like, and you can spend you do easy missions and you'll be done in like 30 to 40 minutes if you just want to fuck off, or if you do like the hard ones that they go for like an hour, sometimes two. They were just fun.
I'm gonna be honest. And bearing in mind, like, I replayed Mass Effect Andromeda last year as doing a retrospective. That multiplayer is still hopping.
Is it still going? Oh,
It's
I actually
still
really
going.
like the multiplayer of 4. I might Andromeda. I might actually re-download it to play the multiplayer of Andromeda.
If the Mass Effect Legendary Edition came with the multiplayer from Mass Effect 3, right, I can guarantee that I would play that more than any live service game anyone was going to publish in 2021. Like,
because they made the grind purposeful.
It was
like
good.
You literally played so you can get better characters, so you could do better things with different and there was so many different characters that you could do and add so many different, like, oh, I'm gonna use this, like for example, the big guy, the fucking, I don't want to call him a Kraken. Krogan, thank you, Krogan. You can make him a shotgun character. You can just bulldoze people and just make him shotgun, make him full assault, or you can have him a hacker.
Yep.
If you wanted to. It didn't even matter. It was amazing.
It really dulled the disappointment of the single player campaign.
It really did.
But I have promised not to talk about that until we do a specific podcast. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the trilogy. Like, I've already bought it on Steam. It's already there. I'm waiting to install and download it and everything like that. And I'm going to smash it like crazy. Like I've said already with Amy, like, you're streaming, we've already agreed, you're going to stream Resident Evil Village, and I'm going to be streaming the Mass Effect trilogy and everything like that. So over on twitch.tv/words about games and everything like that. We're having great fun streaming, I won't lie. Like, I've streamed Dead Space. Yeah,
all the way through to the end.
Yeah, definitely.
We streamed It Takes Two. We stream Among Us. You'll be doing Dead Space 2.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stream Disco Elysium, the final cut, because now I don't have to read all this stuff. But anyway,
yeah, it's got. This is sounding great. It's all the things that I thought was going to happen and everything like that. So
I love Mass Effect 1 and 2 so much. Like, I never liked
the
the gameplay of 1 that much, but the story and the world building and the lore and the quests and the characters, fucking A+.
If they've tweaked that gameplay to the level what they're making it sound like, number 1 could rank up higher than it already is. Because I already rank number 1 really high anyway. It's bottom of the pile out of all of them overall, but I still like the games. I still hold to a high level for me. It's just like like a couple of tweaks out of each one could make them all leap.
It's like Mass Effect 2 will always forever be at the top.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And then Mass Effect 1 could leapfrog Mass Effect Andromeda in my personal Mass Effect rankings.
Yeah, for me it's 2, 3, Andromeda 1. And everything like that. So, and I'm looking forward to replaying them all. Like I said, if those tweaks are as good as what they're making it sound like, I can't wait.
I just had a revelation.
Ooh, what?
Mass Effect 3 is not only on Origin still. You could play like the original 3 just as is. Yeah. But the servers are alive and available for 3 on PC.
I imagine there's still people playing it.
Yeah. I'm actually downloading it as we speak.
like I said, I jumped into Andromeda's multiplayer just because I wanted to write a couple of paragraphs about it. It was like, fuck it. It's still got players. Like on Xbox, I was floored. Foxes.
I've been thinking about going back to Andromeda, like after I played the trilogy, because I've also been thinking about maybe doing it as unmodded, like changing up a couple of the skins and everything like that. Because I've seen a couple of the modded versions of it, and I'm just thinking, that looks really nice. And
I've heard some people have actually made deep hauls too, of like actually trying to work with some of the animation to actually make it a bit better as well.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that's heavy, like file install, but it still nonetheless, I have heard that some people have actually tried to polish it up.
Then I looked at it. Then I looked how to install it, and I was thinking, that's too nerdy. I need him.
Don't ask me. I'm a console gamer, Moody. Don't ask me.
Too nerdy. I need boxes.
Download it and then hit play. That's it. That's what I can manage.
Bless.
Speaking of console gaming, oh, man, this Mass Effect podcast is going to be legendary.
It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun as hell. Because whatever happens, we're both going to come out
You'll finally have the answer to the question that you wrote on the podcast show notes last year when I made a reference to Mass Effect. What's Amy's problem with Mass Effect 3? You'll finally have an answer to that question. Because he assumed it was the ending, and I said it was so much more than the ending.
No, I didn't think it was the ending. I didn't think that at all. Because you were already alluding to it, there was more things to it than it was. And I was just curious. So and I thought you would have answered it. Then we got into the whole thing and thought, all right, we'll just play the trilogy.
And you just went, play the trilogy. And I was like, no. And then you were like, play the trilogy. No. What if we make content out of it? Fine. Fine, I guess. And then like, I think, well, how long did it take me to regret that?
I think
it was like 20 minutes. 20 minutes afterwards, right? I was like, fuck.
I have to play 1, 2, and 3 again.
At least they delayed Deathloop because, I'm gonna need the time.
That's true, yeah. Next story. Sorry, I interrupted. Excuse me.
Marvel's Avengers, Borderlands 3, and The Long Dark joined PlayStation Now this week. In fact, like 3 days ago. This is from Adam Bankhurst over at IGN, who writes, Sony has announced that Marvel's Avengers, Borderlands 3, and The Long Dark will be arriving on PlayStation Now on April 6, 2021. Announced on PlayStation Blog, these 3 games will be available tomorrow, and Marvel's Avengers will stay on the service until July 5th, 2021, while Borderlands 3 will stay on until September 29th, 2021. No removal date was given for The Long Dark. To help celebrate the arrival of these games, Sony is offering a 7-day free trial for PS4 and PS5 owners beginning on Wednesday, April 7th, and it will be available to anyone who is currently not subscribed to PlayStation Now. Avengers.
Going off what we know, there's not many people who subscribe to this thing.
No, like
they don't even push it. They don't share it very well. So.
If they wanted to, like, it's weird, isn't it? It's like if they really wanted Avengers to, like, because clearly they're trying to up the population, right?
Yes.
Because they need to, because there's no one fucking playing it. Like, there's so many places they could have put Avengers, and they put it on PlayStation Now.
The thing is, if they tweak that platform and basically turn it into Game Pass, they've got a thing because they've got 700 games on that thing right now. Going back all the way to the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 era.
They'll never do a Game Pass style subscription, not while Jim Ryan's in charge.
Oh, I agree with what you're saying there. Douchebag he is. But no,
Sony are terrible, honestly. Oh, the worst.
And they seem like they've got worse with him in charge now.
I love this glass.
Just how they portray themselves as a company. I can't remember the last guy's name who was in charge.
Sean Layden.
Sean Layden.
He was amazing. He was the greatest.
Yeah, that's the thing about it, because when we heard he came in and everything like that, everyone was very unsure about him and everything like that. But then after you saw he relaxed and loosened up, you saw, oh, cool, you're actually a great guy. And you know how to sell us things.
I'll never forgive him for Crash Bandicoot.
How to piss us off.
I will never forgive Sean Layden for Crash Bandicoot. He teased me, Mooney, and that didn't feel good. But yeah, I mean, like, like PlayStation, and this is supposed to be about Avengers, but PlayStation that like used to have like, when they did like a press conference or a show or something, like, and all the people who would come out, you knew them, and they were cool people, like Shuhei and Gio Corsi and Sean Layden and Adam Boyes. You knew all these people. Now you don't know fucking anyone. Shuhei, I
can't remember what Shuhei looks like.
Shuhei, like, they've locked him in a cage somewhere in the basement of PlayStation, I guess. Like,
Adam Boyd left.
Adam Boyes left. Sean Layden left. Gio Corsi left.
Andrew House left.
Like,
but Joseph Moran keeps nicking his mail, apparently.
Oh, okay, that's fair. But yeah, I don't know about this, like, Avengers in play. Like, I see it advertised on my stupid PlayStation 5 every now and again. Just like, hey, why don't you try PlayStation Now? And it was like, not even if you paid me, Sony. Like, come on. I use you most powerful console in my room for indie games, okay? Which I actually really do. Like, Jesus Christ. It's not even funny. Like, what are the last games you played on your PS5? Aaliyah, Lost Words.
I bought Aaliyah.
Oh, it's so good though, matey.
Spider-Man. Yep, that was the last game I played.
Bloodborne.
Actually, I saw it was in my feed. I saw someone playing it. I'm questioning about actually going back and doing another run.
Well,
the problem is it's still on PlayStation. Sorry.
Let me help you with this, Moody.
Fox.
Let me help you with this, Fox, as Moody's never going to play Bloodborne. If you go to youtube.com/wordsaboutgames.uk and you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see a video titled Bloodborne 6 years later. Just give that bad boy a watch and then you'll definitely be playing Bloodborne again. I've heard it has that effect.
I'm all like, it kind of got me wanting to play it, and I was just like, God damn it!
I absolutely adore and love that game. The problem is it's going back on a console that's almost dying as it is, anyways, to play it on. When, to be honest with you, we're all screaming for it on PC, even though we'll never fucking get it. We're still screaming.
One day.
I think it's gonna come to PC.
One day. But yeah, no, like Avril said the same thing. She watched the video and then she was like, I really want to play Bloodborne. And I was like, really? Like, do you like Souls games? No, I hate them, but I want to play Bloodborne after watching your video. I was like, cool, it worked. Like, that was the point.
We've like, you and me have already agreed when we're living together, we're gonna do a stream of me trying
playing Bloodborne and me sitting in the background like this.
No, you're gonna be coaching me, Andy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In the corner, laughing away.
I mean, I'll be doing.
He's coaching me.
Be doing both.
Fine.
Speaking of laughing,
Ow.
did you just no? God damn it, Moody.
Speaking of laughing.
You almost got away with it. Outriders is already bigger than Marvel's Avengers on Steam. This is from Zuhad Ali over at The Gamer, who writes, Outriders was officially released last week for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, etc., etc. Despite constant server issues for the past 2 days, the game has been gaining more and more players, especially on Steam. At launch, Outriders had an all-time high concurrent player record of over 100,000 players, a record which has already been bested. According to SteamDB, Outriders has beaten its previous all-time peak record with over 15,000 more players, now at 125,143 concurrent players. For the last 2 days, the game has been seeing constant server issues with disconnection, login errors, and in-game lag. However, Outriders servers have been working far better in recent days, even with over 125,000 players playing at one time. People Can Fly recently revealed during an interview that even though the game was released as a complete package, it can still create more content in the form of expansions that will contain significant content and story missions if players are interested. And there's a quote that says basically the same thing. More people played Outriders than ever played Avengers. One of the biggest IPs in the world.
Bonkers. That is nuts. Avengers is the biggest IP out there right now. It's facts, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not disagreeing.
And to think a little old, and I don't mean this in a slightest nastiest way whatsoever, new IP out of a developer, no offense, I don't think a lot of people might not have heard of in the mainstream.
I'll allow it.
Has got more players than the biggest, arguably one of the biggest IPs out there. That is nuts. That is insane. Well done to People Can Fly. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
And you were both published by the same
I bet they didn't see this coming.
I bet they didn't. I bet they didn't at all. Oh, goodness gracious. Like, you and me intend going back to have a crack on this again.
Playing it tomorrow night, with or without you, because I need something for the video, for the podcast.
That's fine. But no, yeah, well done. to them. I know a lot of people who I can see are enjoying the game and everything like that, and I look forward to playing more with you, Emmy. So
When
well
you
done.
decide to lock characters behind actual paywalls, that's when you know you fucked up. Sorry.
I thought that was what Avengers were always going to do for me, so I didn't see that as a big problem.
Oh, the
But for me,
characters are
it's not
free.
just
No, the characters are free to download.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, are
But
they?
The
Oh,
battle
okay.
passes are what you need to pay for.
yeah. The thing
Oh.
is that it has no content.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, yes, but the thing right now is it has no players, which is a big issue for a live service game. And like they keep
True.
putting out, like they've put out a couple of those war tables, like saying, "Hey, I mean, we talked about the content roadmap not that long ago, and
Yeah.
and you just look at it and go, okay, why? What? There's nothing in there that would like me. I loved the Avengers like campaign, right? And apparently, that's not a majority opinion, but I thought the campaign was really good, and like I was like, cool. I want to continue the story, which they do every time they drop a new character. There's like a story continuation, and I did the first one with Kate Bishop, Caking Aim, I think it was called. But like, yeah, I have no no plans whatsoever to go back to that game, like at all. Like especially now that they've turned the grind up.
Makes no
Yikes.
sense.
Yeah, they've specifically gone out of their way to turn the grind up because what was the reasoning was amazing. It was we don't want people to get overwhelmed because sometimes they would get multiple levels in one mission. We don't want them to get overwhelmed. Listen, Crystal. Dynamics. That's not how video games works.
You're calling your players dumb.
That's not how the Force works.
Like we could figure it out, especially in later levels, which was the problem
Holy
area. Like we've already put the time into the game, Crystal. We figured this shit out already. Whereas with Outriders is weird in that, like you've got the world tiers, you've got the new abilities, like 'cause you unlock different abilities and you can equip 3 at one time, and you've got this huge, ridiculously massive skill tree with so many icons on it, and yet I can understand it just fine. Like it's very easily readable. It's weird how that works, isn't it? Like almost like I know how video games. In fact, I'm just going to end that sentence there. I know how video games. Speaking of video games, I saw a couple of cool indie games, and I wanted to talk about them because it's my podcast and I can do what I want. Stop motion style space adventure Harold Halibut looks sublime in new story trailer. This is from Matt Wills over at Eurogamer. He writes, developer Slowbro's handmade space adventure Harold Halibut has given its handcrafted sets and claymation style characters another gorgeous airing in a brand new trailer. Harold Halibut is part stop-motion movie, part narrative-driven adventure, and tells the story of the titular Harold, a young lab assistant forced to live his life on board a city-sized spaceship submerged beneath an alien ocean 250 years after it fled Earth to preserve the human race. That's a story beat seems to be in a lot of video games, fleeing Earth, and I don't know what could possibly be compelling so many people to make stories like that at the moment. Quote. While most of the ship's inhabitants have reconciled themselves to a life lived aboard the sunken ship, lead scientist Jean Moreau still works tirelessly to find a way for the ship to leave the planet and find a new, drier home. But of course, the weird, wonderful, and diverse people of the Fedora keep Harold busy too, until one fateful encounter plunges Harold into a new world that nobody could have guessed existed, and one that may hold the key to Moreau's relaunch plans. End quote. Harold Halibut has actually been around for some time, having initially been revealed back in 2016. Its long gestation isn't all that surprising, though, given the sheer amount of work involved in bringing its handcrafted world to life, a process that sees intricate real-world sets and models combined with motion capture animation in Unity. The results, as you'd expect, look stunning, as is evidenced in the game's newly unveiled trailer. I like weird games. Mooney knows this. If he didn't know it before, he certainly knows it after the last few weekly reviews. But stop motion game, anyone? Like proper stop motion animated game?
This is actually pretty cool. I'm watching the trailer, and I'm actually a fan of stop motion. It's an art form that doesn't get a lot of love. It's very
It's very difficult to like make something stop motion animated.
Yeah, exactly. And this is actually really cool. I like the. I mean, obviously it's art style, but not only also it's just its whole shtick of like how you're living out like this journey inside this like the ship and whatnot, and making your choices and talking to people. Like, it's actually kind of cool. It reminds me very much of the oh was- there was one that was actually very recent, and I remember I think it was really close to winning Game of the Year. It was kind of like a scroll one as well, telling a story. I don't remember, unfortunately, but yeah, I like it.
A
This looks
video game telling a story.
cool.
Well, let me check.
Sorry.
I'm thinking.
Uh, you're right though.
That narrows it right
Narrowed
down.
it down. Well, we can discount Call of Duty.
Yeah, true.
Discount Destiny
Yeah, true.
and Anthem
Yep.
and any Xbox exclusive.
Damn, sick burn on Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I thought you liked that game.
All of the Wisps is not exclusive to Xbox anymore. It's gone to Nintendo as well, so I'm okay there.
I got over the technicality.
Technicality. I'll take the wins when I can. Yeah, I've just had the trailer. The trailer looks fun.
It wasn't Spiritfarer, was it, Foxes?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
I am the game whisperer. All right.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. I was looking it up right now, just until you said it, and I was like, "Yep," because
I'm just that good. Sorry, Moody.
it had all the animals in it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And it made Amy cry a lot.
Yep.
One of our favorite games last year for both me and Amy. It was incredible.
But sorry, Moody, you were saying something. And, about Harold Halibut and the stop
The trailer
motion
looks
video.
really unique and very intriguing. It's very atmospheric. I can't say the word very well. I apologize. Which I always like. I like those type of games. It always works for me. So, yeah, very intrigued. Bring it on.
You know me and weird games, Moody. They call to me like a siren in the ocean. Speaking of which, Ghosts promises to be FMV horror, only good. This is from Jodie McGregor over at... and they literally say that in the trailer. This is from Jodie McGregor over at PC Gamer, who writes, "The people behind Quarantine Zoom Call horror movie Host, excellent movie, are working on a new production, and this time it's called a real-time live-action game called Ghosts. You play the producer of a TV show about ghost hunters who sit in a van controlling camera feeds from a haunted house, choosing which footage to broadcast as your intrepid crew explore. That crew is being played by the cast of Host, Hayley Bishop, Rodina Drandova, Gemma Moore, Caroline Ward, and Emma Louise Webb, and it's being written and directed by Host's writer and producer Jed Shepard. Also notable, creature design by Trevor Henderson, creator of internet haunting star of multiple games and mods, Siren Head, with fabrication being handled by Jim Henson's Creature Shop. The creature in question is the Long Lady, and you know gamers love tall ladies, who is said to look through the windows of houses on a particular street of London in times of tragedy. Apparently, if you look directly at her face, you die. She sounds kind of like a cross between Hashka Sama, the ghost that inspired Resident Evil's Lady Dimitrescu, and Slenderman. Like a sexy Slenderman. I'm down. The real-time element of Ghosts is that it can only be played at 10 PM in your local time zone, and if you stop playing, that's it, game over, everybody dies. It doesn't sound like a game for people with small bladders or outside commitments, but the test card that appears if you try to play at any other time can apparently be bypassed. Quote, "If you can crack the test, you will have access to an unlockable pre-watershed version where you can breathe and save your progress," end quote. As well as controlling the cameras, you have to track the cast's heart rate monitors, keep things exciting for the viewers, host a call-in segment, and examine documents and files full of information about what's been going on in the area to figure out what's really going on. Ghosts is planned for release on February 22nd, 2022. So, 22 to 22. That's pretty cool. Or I guess if your Foxes, 2/22/22.
True.
I backed this on Kickstarter, like, as soon as I saw it. I was like, this is cool. I'm intrigued.
This is interesting.
Yeah, right? Like, there's so many cool things about it. I was like, how could I not back it on Kickstarter?
So, the whole, like, 10 p.m. thing, like, you actually, like, that's a real requirement? Or
It's a real requirement. You sit down at 10 p.m. local time, obviously. And that's when the game starts. So you start playing the game then, and it's like, it's live action, so like all the stuff is constantly happening. It's not like an FMV game where like something you'll stop and you'll have to choose to go through the door or go out the window or whatever. Like, it's constantly happening, and you're just like, you're almost like directing a TV show, like Ghost Adventures, but good, and like pulling up the things.
This is so weird for a video game.
I know, right?
This is actually really cool, but it's so strange because it's like, it's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of like a half-rated, kind of like B-rated like anime thing of just being like, yeah, like we can only put on like our VR headsets or like whatever the fuck it is, you know, at like 10 p.m. so we can play this video game or like whatever. Like, what kind of like server master or whatever the fuck is like having this kind of requirement? This is really cool. Like, this is an interesting thing. Although I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know. Like, I've watched like people play FMV. I've never really like, because I know, because FMV is like one of those things that if you make one wrong decision, you can die, and or everybody else that you're controlling can die, and then the game is over, right?
In certain FMV games, like FMV games have really sort of branched out because like they've never really completely gone away. They've always been a thing, like in the indie space nowadays. Like in the old days of FMV games, it was literally like brutally difficult, where it was like you click the wrong thing, you're dead and have to start again. I don't care if you've been playing this game for 3 hours, like that kind of thing. Now there's all sorts of different types of FMV games, and this is just a very different type of FMV game where you're not really controlling what happens so much as how it's presented, which can then affect what happens.
This is really cool. I'm kind of on board. I might even actually like do a deep dive in when they put out a genuine trailer. And
there's a Kickstarter with a bunch of information on it as well.
Okay.
Awesome. Which, again, like I said, I backed it, so
that's pretty cool. It's so different, it's so strange,
and
I like it.
Everybody involved made the movie Host, which is currently on Shudder, which came out last year and is really good.
I enjoyed that movie. Some of it gets a little lost on me. But I like Bong Joon-ho, you know, so it's just like it is also like
different
Host. One of those. Yeah.
Different movie.
Oh, okay.
This was took place entirely on a Zoom call. It was made during the pandemic, like last year.
Oh, wait a minute. Was that with what's his face from Star Trek? Because he's the dad. Right? No. I'm thinking of a different movie. Gotcha. Never mind. I'll check that out too. Actually, fair enough.
Cool. It's only about an hour long, so an hour-ish. But it's a great movie. If you've got Shudder, you've got access to Shudder.
Moody, you've been quite quiet. What do you think of this?
Because I've been letting you two talk about this and everything like that. I have no skin in this whatsoever. I'm not interested. Great that you guys are really excited for it and everything like that. Shout out to, I believe, the Cineworld cinema screen and the poster of the alien in the background. So I'll give a shout out to that. So it gets a 10 out of 10 for me for that alone. But no, this is not my type of game personally. But I'm always excited to hear that people are excited for something, and that's fantastic to hear.
I'm totally going to stream it. Oh, no.
Hell yeah. You kind of have to, anyway.
Guess I do. Our last news story, and then we can move on to the other things that we do. Xbox Series X mini fridges will become a reality after Microsoft defeats Skittles in a Twitter poll. Yes, that's a real thing. I said all of those words. And it's all true. This is from Jay Peters over at the... I even voted in it. I didn't
even know this was a thing.
This is from Jay Peters over at The Verge, who writes, if you missed your chance to win the actual Xbox Series X refrigerator born from memes making fun of the console's fridge-like look, I have some good news for you. There may be another way to get your hands on a Series X-shaped cooling appliance in the near future. Last night, to help Xbox defeat Skittles in the final round of Twitter's inaugural Best of Tweets brand bracket, yes, you read that right, Xbox marketing boss Aaron Greenberg promised that if Xbox won, Microsoft would make actual Xbox Series X mini fridges. That promise seems to have been enough to give Xbox the edge because Xbox indeed defeated Skittles on Friday morning with 50.5% of the vote.
Damn.
It seems like Microsoft is going to make good on its promises. Greenberg said that, quote, "We will move forward on our promise to make those Xbox Series X mini fridges," end quote, in a tweet just 3 minutes after the poll results came through. Skittles will get the first one, he said.
It's amazing.
And if you're wondering if this is all some elaborate April Fool's prank, that's apparently not the case. Greenberg said the mini fridge promise was not an April Fool's joke and not clickbait on Thursday evening. Granted. All we know in the immediate aftermath of Xbox's win is that Microsoft intends to put the fridges into production sometime this year. Greenberg hasn't specified how many fridges the company will make, when you might be able to buy one, or if you'll even be able to buy one for yourself at all. Perhaps they will be giveaways like the full-size fridge. We've asked Microsoft if it can share any specific details, and if it does, we'll let you know. Liana Rupert has one. I saw her on Twitter put a video up yesterday, or it might have been this morning. She has an Xbox Series X mini fridge. It looks pretty fucking cool, to be fair.
Who has one? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Liana Rupert. I'll find a tweet while you guys. This is just fucking crazy.
Like, I kind of feel like because it's COVID time, everybody's like, "Fuck it, let's just do some random ass like advertisement shit just because we can. Let's go nuts with some of this stuff. What can we do? Mini fridges.
Mini fridges. We need to win this Twitter. Oh, what do we do? I don't know. We'll promise mini fridges.
I am happy that there are departments and like people out there willing to go.
Drop
I
me a
would
link.
say, like, not to the extreme, but just the extra leg of just being like, hey, let's like use social media, or let's use our advertisement, or like whatever it may be, like to just generate. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's gonna be revenue for them, but at the same time, also, you know, stuff for just because they can. And to be honest with you, why not? And I do like that it's not just because it's only just for money for them. It's also for, you know, giving
For the
things as
memes.
well. Yeah, exactly. And the memes. And it's like, what? Yeah, that's awesome, because then that tells me that, you know, you are willing to not just, you know, keep all of your money.
It's weird.
Yeah, sweet.
It's weird that, like, I always find it weird, like, that brands and corporations at the moment are coming up with dumbass shit. That's the dumbass shit that if I was in charge of marketing for Xbox, I would have come up with, because I'm an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have been like, that console looks a lot like a fridge. Maybe we can make fridges.
Yeah,
and it's a thing.
I think Snoop Dogg got one too, didn't he? I think something like that. He got a giant Xbox fridge.
It was a few, like, because I remember, like, Aaron Greenberg had his Xbox fridge, right? Like, in one of the Xbox presentations last year, and I think since just spiraled out of control since then. But Xbox fridges. Mm-hmm. The important question is, if they become available for sale,
true.
Who's getting one?
Oh no, I'm not getting one.
I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it.
Cowards, the both of you.
Okay. This is just a fun thing. This is fun on the part of, like, this is what people called the Xbox when they obviously was revealed, when the Series X revealed. It just looks like a fridge. And Microsoft have literally just saw that and went, I have an idea. And they've literally took the piss out of it all the way till now, where they now have to make some. And it's fantastic. And they're going along with it. And respect to Microsoft. This is the thing about what happened. This is what's happened. Like, for Microsoft's social media team has been absolutely incredible over the last 18 months, if not longer. Like, there was the part, obviously, when there was the reveal for the Series X or S or whatever, or the prices, whatever. Literally, when that all happened, they literally came out and just revealed it and said, boom, no, yes, this is the thing. It was not how it was meant to be, but how it is true, boom. They just went with it. They didn't keep quiet to hold off until their proper reveal event was happening or anything like that. They just said, yes, this is it, boom, boom, boom. see you next week when we have our proper reveal event and everything. But that's how it's done, and they're doing a brilliant job for it. Respect them for that, and respect to Microsoft for doing a fridge that looks like the Xbox One Series X, the Xbox Series X.
Not the Xbox One X. I've got one of those. Doesn't look like a fridge.
Does not. It does not at all. It's now, ladies and gentlemen, time for games out next week,
which also known as Amy's Pee Break.
Amy's Pee Break. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games coming out next week. April 13th, Demon Skin PC brutal it's a brutal hack and slash game with a challenging combat system in the same vein as Dark Souls. That's telling you, that's for you, Fox. It's calling for you. That game plunges you into the harsh dark fantasy world to test your will and your skills. Only those who dare to get into a demon's skin can survive. Sounds like a challenge for you, that, Foxes. Next up, April 14th, Forgotten Fields PC. Go on a nostalgic road trip in the Forgotten Fields, a game about a struggling author who travels back to his childhood home one last time before he gets sold off. Visit old friends, relive memories, and experience bursts of inspirations in this warm game about the passage of time. And the 3 games coming out April 15th are Ashwalker's PC, a survival journey through a harsh world without rules or judgment. Only your choices matter in the face of moral dilemmas. Manage your party, food, and equipment in a non-linear narrative survival sim with 34 possible endings. That's too many endings.
I get stressed out when there's 2.
Sorry?
I get stressed out when there's 2 endings in a video game.
Godstrike PC and a Nintendo Switch. It is a twin-stick shooter where time is your health and currency. Face off against ruthless bosses, intense one-on-one showdowns, and Talala at the Last Herald. As Talala, not in Talala. Saga Frontier Remastered PC, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. I think that's the first time we've had those up on the games that we've read out this. For me, anyway. The beloved 1998 RPG classic Saga Frontier is reborn with an improved graphics, additional features, and a new main character. Experience this. The last one obviously was that bad. Experience this role-playing adventure as one of the 8 heroes, each with their own storylines and goals, with the free scenario system. Unfold your own unique journey. That's it for games coming out this week, ladies and gentlemen. Time for OpenCritic Head to Head.
Yes, it is, Moody. I've been waiting 2 weeks for this. Because we didn't get a score for Outriders last week, but now it's finally happened. This is the game myself and Moody play every single week, where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points, unless Moody takes a week off and Amy gives her co-host of the week a multiplier on his guess. 2 weeks ago, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Outriders. There was no score last week, so we carried it over to this week. It was a roller coaster. All 3 of us at one point were in for some points. I guessed it would get an 84. Moody guessed it would get an 83 via text message. Keith guessed it would get a 78. And then I gave him a times 10 multiplier because he's probably never going to be on the show again in 2021, because generally only averages like one a year at this point. Outriders, at the time of recording, I was gutted this went down instead of up, has an OpenCritic average of 76, which means that Keith guessed closest and gets 10 points. How you doing? How you doing there, Moody? How you doing? How you doing? I knew you were going to be mad. I remember before I'd published the podcast, I tweeted out to Keith on Twitter, is Moody going to be mad about the podcast?
I had no idea what she did or anything, so I watched the episode, everything like that, and I was like, what's she talking about here? And then obviously got to the end, and I was thinking, those were my exact words. I can say that.
You know it. We also last week guessed the OpenCritic average of Oddworld Soulstorm, but there is no current OpenCritic score on that.
People playing it, but it says the game doesn't drop until the end of the month.
This is what was weird because I thought it was coming out. It was supposed to be coming out on April 20th. I'm sure the release date was announced as April 20th, but then it came out with the PS Plus games on April 6th. And no one seems to have had a review copy of it because there's only like 3 reviews out on OpenCritic right now. So I don't know, it's a bit weird, but
that makes me worried and makes me think that you're going to get the points for that.
Well, the 3 reviews on OpenCritic, one's an 8, one's an 8.5, and one's from an outlet that doesn't give scores, but it's still positive. So I think you're okay there. Not that you're in the lead because the current scores stand at Amy 4, Moody 6, Keith 10. I guess closest on the medium, Werewolf, Fallout, Legion, Revenants, and Bravely Default 2. Moody gets closest on Little Nightmares 2, Maquette, Mondone, and It Takes Two. And
Monster Hunter Rise. Monster Hunter Rise is an 88 now. I think I should get
Stronghold Warlords. That's not how the game works. And he guessed closest. And he guessed completely correctly on Stronghold Warlords. Keith guessed closest for Outriders with a 10 times multiplier, giving him a grand total of 10. There's a little star next to it. There's also been 2 draws for Hitman 3 and Monster Hunter Rise. Foxes has played this game once so far in 2021, so it's not your fault, Foxes, that you don't have any points. But I feel like we should be able to let you catch up.
Nah, it's okay.
Oh no, don't worry, this is my game. So, this week, we're doing an early one because there's a lot of indie games coming out next week. And in 2 weeks, there's a couple of big games coming out. MLB The Show 21. It's coming out on like the Tuesday of the week after. So we might get the reviews next week, we might not. But I wanted to do this one early, and then we can do Nier the week after. It's fine. It's all good.
Should get the reviews on Thursday.
In theory. I thought I'm being prepared. Forward planning. Now here's the deal. We're all going to guess. Foxes, Moody, myself. I'm not going to... Foxes, I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you a time 10 multiplier. Moody knows where I live and work. He will find me. And he will kill me. if I do that again. However, what I would like to give you to get you started is a times 3 multiplier. That's much more reasonable. Because even if you guess the score completely correctly, that'll still only put you on a par with Moody. And then it's like we're all on even footing, apart from Keith, who's running away with
it. The face really, he's like, why? This is what? I had to work for this. Yes, and 83.
83. 83. And then I'll put a little star. Hi, Sophia. Times 3 multiplier active. Not multiplier, multiplier active. Moody, what do you think MLB The Show 21 is going to get on OpenCritic?
84.
84.
Ooh.
I was always going to go 84. So
no, that's wrong. 84. That's what. Fuck, I just wrote mine in yours for a second there. I am going to guess 85. And I was always going to guess that. This isn't like Outriders where I allegedly just backed my score right up into Moody's, so I would have the minimum possible chance of getting points. Which nobody can prove I did. Yeah, 85. It's always around about that sort of area, isn't it?
Last one was 84.
When Outriders was 77 yesterday, I was praying it would go up by 1 so Keith would get 20 points. Just because it would have been really funny. Instead, it's only kind of funny. To be fair, for most of the week, it was yours. It only dropped in like the last day or two.
I know.
I kind of looked at it and went 82, and it was 82 for like 3 days, and I was like, all right, cool, Moody's going to get the points. I don't have to worry about it. And I looked again, and I was like, oh, shit. I got a text message off Moody. It literally just said, what have you done? I don't know, Moody. Somebody needs to stop me.
So don't give Fox the 3 times multiplier.
It's too late. I've already said it.
No, it's not. I can delete this. Yeah,
but I'll just add it again. If you delete it, I'm making it a times 4 multiplier.
Ooh.
I'll give you a chance to add it back. There we go. It's all good. What are the odds?
I don't even have to fight for it.
What are the odds that Fox is gonna win? I mean, the odds are actually in his favor because he's got the lowest score. Out of the three of us.
I'm the one who's the one. I have to get mine dead on.
Look, right, the way this stupid fucking game usually goes, you will probably you've got like a 1% chance of this happening, and you'll definitely get it because that's how this stupid fucking game usually works. I haven't had any points since fucking February. Okay,
you went 4-0 ahead, so get over it.
Like Bravely Default 2. Do you know when that came out?
February.
The fucking reviews are early for it and everything. It's fucking
yeah.
So don't you fucking complain to me.
I'll complain all I want.
I've been in the fucking wilderness for an entire fucking calendar month. Get over it. Now I'm just messing with you.
I know.
And I'm behind on Fantasy Critic. One of my games just got delayed. Another one's not even going to get fucking reviewed. Look, right, it's not been a good month, okay?
You got the next 3 games coming out.
So I'm just having my fun for now.
All coming out this month.
So I'm just having my fun while I can, okay?
You're going to go ahead on Fantasy Critic at the end of the month.
I know. I'm going to win Fantasy Critic, Mooney, because I'm just that good at it.
I highly doubt that.
I won last year's Fantasy Critic by like fucking August.
We know that's not true, so whatever.
It was about that, roughly. Give or take.
This evil genius at least keeps finding, not keep, Russell's finding at some points.
Oh, shite. Sorry.
What? What's dropped? What's released?
PoE 2 dropped their first trailer.
Who?
Path of Exile 2.
You say PoE, I think Pillars of Eternity because I'm a giant nerd.
I mean, yeah, it's funny because like that's usually the just it's like
that game came out years ago.
Yeah.
I just went. I don't know what you were talking about, Fox.
PoE, if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much like the spiritual successor to Diablo. Like,
I played it ages ago.
Like it's actually like proper one because you could just deck out your character in so many different ways. The skill tree is unbelievably massive. Like it's ridiculous of like what kind of different characters that you can make along with like your different gear that you get and so on and so forth. That also plays. The only thing that's not a part of PoE, but I imagine that actually they might start to consider doing different stuff like it in PoE 2 is adding runes like it was in Diablo 2. But now that Diablo 2 Resurrected, or Diablo, or however they're calling it, is coming out, like people will probably just go back to Diablo 2 and just keep re-rolling new characters since there'll be new servers again, and they'll be revamping stuff. I mean, granted, PoE has such a big following that it doesn't matter. Like it'll get its fan base, going to it anyways. But like those who are probably on the fence between the two, are probably going to go to Diablo 2 since feels more familiar and
unless they fuck up the remaster like they did with Warcraft 3. That's true.
But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to Path of Exile 2 because if it's going to be free again, which I think it will be, it's actually like, you don't think so?
No, I was just gonna say like, things I'm looking. I might actually download MLB.
That's fair.
I'm thinking about it.
Just to have a go at it. Just to have a go of it.
Yeah, I agree.
now that I can, right? Because it doesn't get a physical release in Europe because baseball's not that big over here. But like, if I could just download the thing on my Xbox, I might give it a go.
Fair
I
enough.
think it could be fun.
I was just looking at Fantasy Critic, and it's the next game on the list.
Have you checked out the tweet I sent you before we started?
No.
Good.
No,
I think
I
you're gonna
did
laugh at
notice, however, that Russ has gone for it. He's picked up Call of Duty 2021 on Fantasy
Did
Critic.
he? I've just been on there. I didn't notice.
No, I just noticed it. Like, he's balls. I guess it's not ballsy. Last year it was only like an 8-pointer.
Yeah, he got like a 78.
Yeah, he picked it up last year as well. Like, I guess it's guaranteed
'Cause I
few
think
points. I guess.
So I was thinking, it's partly World War II. They like the
Boots
they like
on the
this
ground.
World War
Here we go again.
Yeah, boots on the ground. Yeah, no wall jumping backpacks or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the Titanfall exists. Like, Call of Duty can't compete with that. And that's going to do it for episode 251 of the Words About Games podcast. Foxes.
Where's Titanfall 3? Yeah.
Great to have. It's called Apex Legends. Great to have you here. As always, you're welcome back here any time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Moody.
Hear me?
I'll see you on Sunday night for the next one of these that we do. I've been playing a game where the primary control method is blinking, so that'll be fun to talk about.
Is that horror game?
No, it's like it's narrative. It's called Before Your Eyes, and you blink a lot. I've got an achievement unlocked on it. Apparently, I've blinked 2,000 times.
Nice.
In 35 minutes.
Nice.
I don't know if that's a lot. Like, I don't know how many times a human person is blinks, like, on average, but apparently
I don't know either, actually,
that's what I've done. I'll find out for Sunday. But that's going to do it. Say bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everybody.